our official sponsor, Greenwood Stock Trading. If you want to learn how to make some passive income, some extra money, so you can invest in your future and your kids' future, give them a call for a free 10-minute consultation, 281-760-3170. Go get to the bag. Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. You right there watching this video, waiting for this live stream to start, or just watching the membership video, man, and why you should join the membership. Let's talk about it real quick, expeditiously. We got the 3 levels. You got the rookie level, you got loyalty badges, you got custom emoji badges, and you have members on the live stream. As we get more people flowing in to join the membership, I have members only live chat. That means everybody can see the video that want to see the video, but only members will be able to chat. That's $3. That's a rookie. The All-Star, you get personal shout outs before the videos, maybe after the video, mostly likely before the videos. You give a priority to reply in the chat. So as soon as I see you, I reply before anybody else. Get early access to pretty much all my non-boxing videos there. $10 a month. Then we got the boxing pound for pound superstar for all my boxing boys and gals out there. Get early access to prediction and most of our boxing content, virtual video collaborations, and open debate. So, if you want to pre-record or go live and debate me for a whole video, you got early access to new videos. Some of the videos in the All-Stars will too. And priority reply in the comments. So I see in the comments you get priority reply. No instantly, that's $20 a month. So let me know what you guys think. Don't have a Patreon no more. So here's where you're gonna get some of that exclusive content I used to have on the Patreon. Peace. All right, man. Let's talk about Spence and Crawford. You see why people talk about the same shit every day? Because as soon as you talk about this, everybody want to hop on and listen. But you talk about some real boxer shit, then people don't want to hear real boxer shit. So y'all want to know why people kind of circumvent or circulate talking about the same talking points, because y'all don't support every talking point the same. That's why you see people that just say, you know what, I'm gonna make up lies, I'm gonna talk about the same shit every day. It's because that's where they make their hay at. And people don't want to hear real boxing talk. So I'm gonna start off by saying that people don't want to hear real boxing talk. A lot of boxing fans want to hear about the drama, and that's why these dudes ain't fighting. A lot of these dudes want to hear more about the drama than these dudes exchanging blows. So I wasn't really like planning on starting it off that way, but that's just the honest truth. If I would say, well, I'm gonna talk about a New York fight, wouldn't nobody give a fuck? Would nobody care? It wouldn't be 2 people on watching. And people know it's the truth. All people want to know, all people want is the names. And one thing about boxing, that is it's running short when you talking about the names. Because the names that's been out here were created off the names of guys like Manny Pacquiao, Tim Bradley, Floyd Mayweather, and we don't fight people and don't give people the opportunity. That's why PBC ain't never grew. Floyd wasn't given no opportunity. Think about this. If you told somebody when PBC started that Manny Pacquiao will give more premier boxing champions fighters opportunities than Floyd Mayweather, people will say you crazy. And that's what he done. And that's what he done. Manny Pacquiao has given PBC fighters more opportunities than Floyd. And Floyd don't want nobody to pass him. That's the bottom line. Floyd don't want nobody to pass him. And that's the real life shit. And guess what? A lot of the other PBC fighters adopted that same thing. They don't want to pass the torch. They'd rather just, nickel and dime it, and they don't want to go try to make the big fights, and try to be great. Not in their 30s, and they rather just steal nickel and dime it. How you gonna pass a torch when you ain't never had the torch, or you never burnt your own light to create your own torch? Think about that for a minute. So A lot of these guys didn't get an opportunity to fight on Floyd co-feature like Canelo did, or fight Floyd like Canelo did, or fight a Manny Pacquiao in his heyday when he was doing big numbers. People didn't get that opportunity. People didn't get it. And now they don't want to do what needs to be done to be boxing royalty, to be a star. Even if it's just syndicated in your market. Let's say you from the South. You just syndicated as a boxing star in the South. They not doing what's required to do that. And what's required to do that is exactly what I started off the live with. Names. You need names. That's what attract boxing fans. That's what attract casuals. The one thing the casuals know, across the board, they know when it's a mega event. They know when it's a big event. They might only watch basketball come finals, but they know when it's a big game. They might only watch hockey when it comes to the playoffs, or they might only watch college basketball when it's March Madness time. But they know they have a neck, and they have a knack, and they have a nose. They have a nose for big sporting events. They have a nose for it. And boxing is no different. They know when two, name fighters are in there and they about to bang. They know. And they show up with their money and support it. And they show up and support it. And just what I started off with, how people said, well, you talk about Spencer Crawford and everybody showing up and everybody want to see the names, and all of a sudden all niggas getting the notifications ain't swiping. It's all about the names. And I'm going to say over like 90% of fans that quote unquote claim to be hardcore boxing fans, they not. They just as casual as a casual fan. And just because you don't know the history about boxing, they don't make you that don't not make you a hardcore boxing fan. A lot of these dudes just follow boxing for one or two fighters. They couldn't even name 10 fighters in 50% of the weight classes. Let's say 30% of the weight classes. They couldn't name you 10 fighters in each one of them. Come here. Sorry, y'all. Something don't smell right on Miles. He fasted tomorrow, but come here. Show him you still alive, buddy. So you still alive? You sure still alive, man. All right. He's strong. But I don't know where Mason. Oh, there you go. There you go. Hey, Mason. All right, we can't do all that. But it's all about the names. And either you're gonna transfer power by passing the torch, or you're gonna transfer power by making the fights that need to be made. That's the only way. And one fight can't make you a mega superstar unless you fight De La Hoya, Floyd, Prime Floyd, Prime Manny Pacquiao, Mike Tyson when he was at his height, box office wise. That's the only way. You notice when you talk about certain content on social media, all notifications go out then. You know what I'm saying? Everybody just so happened to be here. That's all niggas want to hear. I'm telling you. They don't want to hear about the history. You got a lot of good historian channels. Don't nobody be watching that shit. You got a great channels that's informative on purse bids and official rankings and who could be the mandatory and who projecting this, and they can be right every time. Y'all don't give a fuck. Let's call a spade a spade. Y'all don't care. It's just like women say, well, they want a good man and they want a man to, bring them flowers and be, that they put them first. No, they don't. And boxing fans ain't no different. They don't. They just want names. Nobody talking about how Anthony Joshua tickets not selling in the UK. I ain't seen one person contact me about that. 10,000 people contact me today about Spencer Crawford, about them getting on the phone and agreeing to a split, and Terence Crawford, putting up a memoranda and sending it to PBC and all this shit and whatever like that. We already know what's going on here. And if you don't know what's going on, you getting your hopes up. Why do you still even want to see this fight, bro? All they doing is it's a cop out. That's it. It's a cop out. Y'all don't even see the play. Y'all don't even see the play. Y'all don't even see what they doing, bro. They pulling the fucking Mikey Garcia. They pulling the Kell Brook. They pulling all that shit, bro. They just trying to clear I got a video coming tomorrow. They just trying to clear the runway for Thurman and Spence. Y'all talking about, well, why is the fight at 54? If you still asking that question, I can't help you. I can't do nothing for you, man. Like Flavor Flav. If you've been watching my channel and you can't answer that question now we have an answer. And you can't answer that question now, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You have learned nothing by watching my channel. You hear me? What he say? You listening to Jimmy, but can you hear him? That's what he said. Y'all have learned absolutely nothing. Real talk. Y'all have learned absolutely nothing. I mean, you shouldn't even, if you don't know the answer to that question, you shouldn't even fucking be sub. Just unsub right now. If you've been listening to me for at least a year, especially if you from the beginning, when I first exposed this nigga was ducking Terence Crawford. If you can't answer that question right now, I just can't say nothing for you, bro. I just feel embarrassed that you part of this community. I feel embarrassed. Number one, what they trying to do, and like I said, for people who come on late or listening and say, well, I don't want to hear the whole thing. I want to hear the part. I have a video coming at 12. It'll be short, simple, and sweet and precise. Right? We all see what they doing, bro. We all see what they doing. They trying to clear the runway for Keith Thurman, right? That's what they trying to do. They can't announce the Keith Thurman fight because the backlash Earl gonna get. There's no traction. People not gonna buy it. Now you got a couple people that say, well, I'll buy it. I've been looking forward to this fight. Errol Spence can go out there and fight, Elmo, and they gonna dick ride him. They gonna ride it like a rodeo. You know what I'm saying? That's like, Lil Baby putting out music and it's utter trash, but people just say, somebody say, oh, it's cool. The radio station say, oh, it's cool. Whatever the radio say, that's what determines the temperature. People don't understand how deep the radio go. They can make shit it's like going to the club. Anything sound good at the club. Boom, boom, boom. You can listen to some demonic or something crazy. Anything sound good at the club. Just like the radio can make anything sound good. When you start opening your eyes and really opening your eyes and ears and really start to see the play, you know what the deal is. And what they want to do is clear this runway for the Keith Thurman fight. Say we talking to Bud. And even if they make the fight, why they having it at 54? Guess what? They're going to continue to diminish what it is. He going to do a Kell Brook. He going to fight at 54, right? Then he going to come back down. He going to fucking lose. And if he lose, he going to say, well, you know what? If this fight had been made sooner, I could have won. If this fight wasn't at 54, if I didn't go up to 54, if we could have got this done sooner, I think I'd have been a lot stronger and I think I would have won. I'm moving up because I can't make the weight. I wanted to stay at 54, but I wanted to give the fans what they wanted. Credit to Terence Crawford, blah, say, blah. And also what they banking on is Terence Crawford to get old overnight. They thought Terence Crawford was poor. They thought he was starving. They thought he was living check to check. You know what I'm saying? They was living cash app to cash app, Zelle to Zelle, just like their fighters was living. But guess what? They thought he was going to power himself out of top rank. His money was going to be funny. And guess what? For one, the boy good with money, apparently. But when you a family man, that obviously that give you something to strive for and save for, right? When you always in your kid's life, guess what? You went at the club, drinking, spending bottles on Cristal. You had humble's beginnings. You want to give your kids something. So that's one thing about a family man that's the positive thing. Keep you out of a lot of bullshit, right? So he did what he supposed to do with his money. So and if he didn't do what he supposed to do with his money, guess what? He would have took any rinky deal because he was starving. You gotta think about it. When anytime, excuse me, anytime somebody is in the position of desperation, right? Even though you on, let's just use this for example, you on Indeed, you looking for a job. Even though you like, man, I don't even like this motherfucking job, but I need a job. I need a job. I need a job. You say, well, shit, you apply for a whole bunch of jobs. Of course, the ones that you really don't want don't call you back because you pressing. So you just take a job even though you know it's not gonna work, right? You take it because you desperate. When you desperate, you're not thinking with clarity. You know what I'm saying? You like, man, I gotta do this, and I just figure the shit out, and I make it work. I struggle. I know I can't work outside, but you know what? I gotta get the fuck up out of here. Or I gotta get a job. I just gonna have to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But when you in a position of power, when you got your money right, or let's say you got a job, or whatever, you got a job, you looking for another one, it's easier. Guess what? I can just go through and pick the shit I want because guess what? I can go to work tomorrow. It's easier. I got leverage. And when you don't have no leverage, you're gonna take any ricky dick deal. When you starving, you're gonna eat what the fuck they give you. And Terence Crawford is not starving like they thought he was gonna be starving. And not only that, he's made in his ability to have leverage and have money to still finance his life. He was able to go get a deal with BOK Prime. He was able to get some cinema money. Shout out to David Jose Benavidez too. Did a great job as Felix and Creed. He was able to do other things. And then BLK Prime was willing to go get Jerron Ennis as an opponent. They called they snow on the bluff. And then it's like, why is BLK Prime reaching out to Jerron Ennis and not having Showtime reach out on his part take? Because they was fucking clout chasing. They're trying to throw as many berries in front of Terence Crawford as possible. That's what they're trying to do. But the problem, and I said this yesterday, on the live yesterday, the problem with Jerron Ennis is if he beat Terence Crawford, then people gonna want Errol Spence to get in the ring with Jerron Ennis, and guess what? It financially don't make no fucking sense. But he gonna have to get in there for short money in a dangerous fight. The thing about those young fighters, of course, Jerron Ennis can pick it up. He can learn as he go. You know what I'm saying? He still could fall off short, but he can learn as he go. And the thing about them, they don't have the wear and tear of other fighters. They can take chances. They can take chances that other fighters can't. That older, mature fighters can't. Because they're going to recover faster. Their body's fresher, is younger. They're not putting the wear and tear. They only got so many years in the game. So, fighting somebody that has more mileage or as much mileage as you, that's different. Them young motherfuckers don't know nothing but 100 miles an hour. It's kind of like females talking about, having sex with younger guys and how all they want to do is just beat it up, beat it up, beat it up, beat it up. You know what I'm saying? And some of these older women, I'm not talking about old, but some of them older, middle age, some 30ish, they be thinking that's the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? Until, the motherfucker want to do it 7 times a day, 7 days a week. And it's like, oh, no, I'm going to go back to Mr. Johnson or whatever like that. It's the same thing with these young fighters. They fresher. They just going to keep coming harder. They don't know no better. So I got to put this motherfucker down and keep putting it down and keep them there. And do I have an energy level? Am I fresh enough to keep doing that? That's the danger in fighting a younger fighter. and they picking up as they go. So the longer you keep them hanging around and they get confident, and you don't break that confidence, you don't break that will, and the money is not great. So that's the problem with them not, wanting to do Jerron Ennis. All it is clout. They're trying to diminish Bud, make Bud look bad, and ain't none of it working because one, he not taking the bait verbally. So the Keith Thurman plane can't take off unless they clear the takeoff. They clear the takeoff. They clear it so they can take off, and Bud is standing right there. And they can't take off with Bud being right there. So now they want to start talking like they got some sense. Now Errol Spence can talk and conversate on his own because they probably talking shit about him in Dallas. Real talk is people around his homeboys, his daddy, his family starting to see that he wear pantyhose and he a little thought, he a little hoe. They starting to see hearing that. He hearing what people like me saying. And the thing about it is he can say, well, I don't get emotional and all that type of shit. Dog, when it's true, it's true. Any person that has any type of happiness, sad, pain, he knows it's true. So of course, he's going to have to do the logical thing. And the problem is, it ain't like Keith Thurman is a great 1B. He's not. He's a Z option. He did 30K on pay-per-view. His last rumored to do 30K versus Mario Barrios. Didn't look good. That fight all risk, no reward. What do you get for beating Keith Thurman? A guy you say, you ain't want to fight and all this type of stuff. Nothing. Would you get satisfaction for knocking his dick in the dirt? And people gonna slander that fight unless the Crawford fight is made in advance. And they gonna say, we talking. But I tell you this. If that fight ain't made in advance to the Keith Thurman fight, don't buy it. I wouldn't buy it regardless. It ain't gonna happen. They just and he gonna say, well, I can't make 47 no more, man. If I can get a belt at 54, Crawford get a belt at 54, we can do. It's gonna be if the fight is made, the built-in excuse is gonna be, well, I had to fight Keith at 54. I had to come back down to 47. I wasn't the same fighter no more. Or you might get to the fight and the nigga might come in at 160 fucking pounds versus Bud and drop all the belts and do it that way. I wouldn't put nothing past PBC. But what they trying to do is he trying to have a built-in excuse for why he about to get that ass whooped if he take the fight. But what they trying to do is they trying to clear the runway so the Keith Thurman fight can take off so he don't get no backlash. That's what they trying to do. And and then after the fight, people gonna say, well, Bud ain't show up. He ain't getting the ring. They're gonna be, when no deal reach, I'm staying at 54. It's gonna be either one or the two, bro. One or the two. Postgrad salute. Renardo salute. Rob salute. Sean salute. What's going on? Jalen salute. I'm telling y'all, bro, that's what it's about to be. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be one or the other. Now, if they come to a deal, before the fight, and he fight Keith Thurman still at 54, I'm telling y'all that's gonna be the built-in excuse. Nobody won't believe me. Dead game boxing salute. That's what they doing in this era. Abdul salute. You got to make more predictions. Don't nobody support them. So I'll stop making them. I don't have time to waste, to be honest. Johnson salute. He said, if this is true, fighters like Earl and Wilder have outgrown PBC platforms. PBC may be like the minor leagues of Saudi Arabia. Is not Saudi Arabia can never be the major leagues. Can never. Boxing to die faster over there. You can't grow a sport over there. Not in America. America is the heartbeat of boxing. Now, if that change, maybe so, but they can't do that. I'm telling you, it ain't gonna work. Lou DiBella just broke that down. How do you grow a sport and people can't go to the fight, right? The fight's gonna come on at 4, 5, 6 o'clock afternoon time in America. Come on. No, nothing prime time come on at 5, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in America. Seeing Creed, solid movie. It was good. I enjoyed it. He said if Earl and Deontay make their next fights Floyd without Al Haymon will have to do. They can't. They can't. Deontay probably can, But who knows? Earl, and you know, like I said, I'm not getting into people business. Alejandro, what's going on? Yeah, I seen that. He said Crawford and Spence isn't viable or relevant. Break up the belts. Well, what do you? Okay, cool. I agree with that. But what are you moving on to? D-Quest, what are you, 007? What are you moving on to? I would love to hear what, if you break up the belts at 47, what are you moving on to? I would love to hear your answer. What's up, my boy, Coach Malachi, man? Go subscribe to True Media today, USA Boxing. Good show today. Yeah, you would be great PR for them niggas, man. He said, had coach in the building. Yep, salute the coach. 913 Boxer, salute. He said they can ride D-Rod, Errol Spence all they want. They're going to give them the side eye too, because deep down they know that's a BS fight. And they do it. And they're going to try to use Terence Crawford to clear the runway. Either they're going to use Terence Crawford to clear the runway and make the fight in advance so people will feel comfortable supporting Keith Thurman. And they like, I want to see Bud get in the ring after the fight. That's either what they're going to do. And the excuse then is going to be, well, you know, I came to 54. I got to come down to 47. You know, I wasn't the same fighter. You know, if he did it earlier, if I never went to 54, I think I could have got him. That's what he's going to say in that scenario. Or they going to act like they close to a fight. They close to a fight. We agree in principle and, you know, this, that, and after the fight, the motherfucker Crawford don't get in the ring. And they going to say, well, you know, the contract expired before he signed. Earl staying at 54. It's going to be something like that. Mark my words. He said, down from the bar, there's a platform stage. People pimp, sharpest, razor blazing. Lala D salute. I'm telling y'all, that's what's gonna happen, bro. I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling y'all, niggas, that's what's gonna happen. Is this they've been how you drag somebody's name through the mud? Then you try to use Jerron Ennis as a shield, and BOK Prime said we can do this. You know, if you talking about give us a call, nigga, call me. Have Showtime call me to make a fight then. You went for the interim title. They let niggas know everything you need to know. They think we stupid, bro. Ain't nobody stupid. All they trying to do is continue to drag this name in the mud. They want Terence Crawford to react emotional. Somebody sent me a video of Jeezy from the he did an interview. I never watched it though. He did an interview with Drink Champs where he talked about his situation with Nas and shit, you know. And you know how he thought Nas talking about him because hip hop did, how he met him in the bathroom at Club 112, and you know he kind of didn't like how he was kind of being passive to him, and he blew up. And then Nas did a song "Hip Hop Is Dead." He was like, "Man, fuck Nas, his music trash," and whoopty whoop. And he said Nas gave him a call, and he thought it was about to be on some some shit, and he was just like, man. He wasn't emotional about it. He broke it down to him. He was ready to kind of like fire back off at him. And he was like, I couldn't even do shit the way he. That's kind of, I told somebody, that's kind of where I want to be at emotionally. And that come with age and that come with experience where, somebody could rock you with some devastating, or some niggas just be emotional or rational or mad at some shit you did. And even if you did do it or you didn't do it, and you could just be like, all right, bro. Cool. Let me see. Can I holler at you for a minute? This is where I was coming from. And you could just handle it like that. And that's come with maturity, bro. And that come with you working on shit like that. That's where I'm trying to get at. Where every action don't deserve a reaction. And even in some of the most hard breaking moments, some of the most painful moments, some of the most, how can I look at it? Treacherous moments, or moments where people ain't loyal or they cross you, or you could just be like, you know what? It is what it is. I just got to be better next time. That's why I don't care what people diss on YouTube. Like, for what? Well, I'm going to get back and forth with somebody I can't even choke. Now, if I could choke your ass the way I want to choke you, it might be a different story. Shout out to Kobe. He said, yeah, love from Western New York. Shout out to Western New York. So it's Kid Bud salute. So that's just that's just me. And I've been doing a great job of that. And people know how to push your buttons. That's the best people to practice that with. People know how to push your buttons, kids and women, and your mama and your daddy. It's the best people to practice with. You don't think the UK is the heart of boxing now? Go check Anthony Joshua ticket sales. You get your answer. I would definitely tune into your predictions. He said we definitely was on something with our prediction. Y'all ain't shared the lives and messed it up. Shake my head. Post grad. So yeah, like I said before, that's what I told y'all. That's what them motherfuckers. That was they have to kind of like fight them now because it ain't even about that. It's not even about Showtime being in trouble and the budget being cut. That don't bother Al Haymon. Whatever Al Haymon motive is for not making fights, we probably never know. Just like how many licks it takes to get to the goddamn Tootsie Roll and the Tootsie Pop. We'll never know. I don't understand his mathematics of the day. I don't understand that. And I'm not gonna try to understand, him trying to be a fighters, believe these guys are their own bosses and he trying to be fighter friendly and all that type of stuff. But at the end of the day, you just think and be like, they ain't all of a sudden rushing to make no big fights, bro. What big fights they got on deck? Ask yourself, what big fights they got on deck? If it was do or die, do you want to ride in the backseat of my Cadillac and chop it up with do or die? If it was do or die, man, we wouldn't even be talking about Keith Thurman being a possibility, bro. We wouldn't be talking about them trying to marinate Charlo and the Diamonds because Charlo been out 2 years. It'd be nigga swim or sink. It wouldn't be no Figueroa or Mayaxo for no interim belt. It'll be, look here, y'all got to fight these guys now. Y'all better get in shape. I'm giving you a 12, 15-week notice. This is who you got. Earl, if you got to say the company, you got to fight Terence. Charlo, you need to hurry up and fight a Diamond so we can move on to bigger things. You know what I'm saying? It'll be, you know what, man? We're going to make Tony Harrison and Charlo 3. Fuck them belts. The biggest and the most premium fights, that'll be on deck. David Benavidez said, Al Haymon asked me who I want to fight. Did I want to tune up or Caleb Plant? He gave my option. It's not do or die. It's not do or die for them. It is not do or die. Because when you doing something and you it's real pressure, you know what I'm saying? When it's real pressure like that, to really, deliver, guess what you got to do? You got to deliver. He still ain't delivering. So it ain't no pressure. They ain't tripping. And I think Lou DiBella was saying this on that little interview they had on Fight Hive. He was saying because he said the reason why these networks are paying for these fights or putting money up in boxing, it's a subpar product, is because they need the content. That's what he said. He said because they need the content. And if you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Netflix got a whole. I seen the first Netflix movie. I can't remember what movie it was. It was on some regular TV channel station. I mean, as far as regular cable. I can't remember what movie it was. I think it was an Adam Sandler movie. I think it was. I can't remember what it was. I think it was a Netflix movie. Okay. Netflix, HBO Max, all these other, is taking all the content. So, I mean, when you see hockey go back on ESPN from NBC Sports, and it was exclusively like on NBC, a lot of it was exclusively on NBC Sports, that should let you know something. When they playing a professional tag on ESPN, that should let you know something. There's a shortage of content going around because there's a shortage of creativity. There's a lot of apps now. And what Paramount will do, they will, especially for Nickelodeon, they'll take a show, they'll break it on Paramount, then they'll bring it months later or, a month later and put it on Nickelodeon. That's what they doing. And the apps still continue to have the biggest and the best content. All the different app platforms use the same shows. Netflix has some of the same shows. HBO Max or HBO Max has some of the same shows. Hulu will. You can get stars through Hulu or some shit like that now. So there's a content shortage. There's a content shortage from all the apps, the lack of creativity. The pandemic pushed a lot of shit back. So ESPN and these networks still need content. You say, okay, Showtime's still going to be around. They're not going to be on Paramount, exclusively on Paramount. There's still going to be a Showtime channel, right? From now. What do they fill the boxing programming with? Where do they fill the content with? They canceled several shows. Where do you say, you can cancel shows, right? And supplement them with reruns. You can supplement them with other movies that you already had the rights to. But if you got people that sub to Showtime, which Showtime don't have a lot of subs to begin with, that sub for Inside the NFL or sub for the basketball documentaries or sub for the boxing, you can't really do that because what are you going to program it with? What other sports can you obtain? You going to partner with the fucking Zone? Ain't got shit. So you got to understand, it's harder to pull a sports ahead of time. It's hard to pull that. AT&T didn't care. They have enough. They own enough content. They got enough subs to take that hit when AT&T bought them. The box community was a small part of HBO. HBO have way more subs than Showtime to this day, so they can take that hit, kind of program it with shit they own, add Lovecraft Country, add other shows, and still be good. Showtime can't afford to take no hit, bro. They can't afford it. So right now, what they're probably doing is trying to find ways to fill that programming. If they are going to get rid of boxing, they trying to find ways to fill that programming. But they need that shitty product. And to be honest, the top ranked ESPN product ain't all that great. They don't do great numbers. I was talking to somebody, I think it was Kobe. We was somewhere, me and Chris was talking. And to find boxing on ESPN Plus, you got to scroll all the way down. You got to go find that shit. You got to go find it. It's not right there when you're live. You'll see college baseball. You'll see crackheads hula hooping before you find boxing. You got to scroll down that motherfucker. You got to scroll down. It's just to the point where there's a demand, and that's why boxing can continue to coast. And Bob Arum, he's been in the boxing the longest. That he always stays ahead of the scale, the curve. He was where Al Haymon was at when HBO kicked his ass off. Trying to stop big fights, didn't want to work with Al, hating on Al to get him kicked off HBO. Then basically he kicked Al off the roof, didn't even know he tied a fucking lasso to his ankle and got yanked off the roof with Al Haymon. But he learned. And now you see him, he trying to make every big fight possible. He'll stop this fight to make this fight. He putting them all, he trying to sign everybody. He understands what's going on. He understands what's going on. And he's ahead of the curve, signing talent, trying to make big fights, trying to sign them. He's going to make it very hard for Devin Haney to go back to Matchroom. Mark my words. If he beat Lomachenko, he's going to make it even if he loses, he's going to make it very hard for him to go back. He understands that he can't treat the brothers like that. He need them. So, like I said before, he understands that, if they get back to making big fights, and it start with him trying to make the fights, it's going to start with bringing Eddie in. It's going to start with bringing Al in. He's going to have to get Al. They got to start making those fights if they want to survive together. They got to make the fights. Simple as that. That way, when a TV deal is up and everything else, everything else is really declining other than hockey. Hockey, the only thing that's going like this. Female sports is never going to go like a huge peak, right? Even XFL on ESPN, right? He understands if he can get the sport trajectory going back up, they all going to get paid, bro. They all going to get paid. If you can get boxing going like this and doing what the UFC going to do, ESPN, they print money. They print money. And Al Haymon is going to find that out late. He's going to let Top Rank get a head start. And it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. Bob Arum ahead of the curve. He's even though Al is the leader of the new school, he got the baton. He whooping everybody else in the race. Bob Arum, they didn't already reconstructed they strategy already. You can see it. Look at the prospect. He's on the whole Olympic team, male Olympic team, bro. Look what he changed the undercards. Probably was me why he changed it. Because what I say, man, if they're gonna put these small motherfuckers on the undercard, just put the prospects on the undercard. That way they get the exposure. You get to watch them grow, and it's engaging. Instead of me seeing two guys at 122 pounds that I don't give a hell about and never want to see again. At least with these prospects, if you keep them fighting on all these undercards, I'm gonna get familiar with them. I'm gonna see them grow. They exciting. They going for knockouts. They putting on great performances, right? Then guess what? I watched them grow. I felt like I grew up with them like little Michael Jackson and Jackson 5. You think they ain't play a part in Off the Wall and Thriller going off the chain? Exactly. Now you get them to the next level. You put them in there with other names, other people, and now you get people to pay money because they sympathizing with them. I'm sympathizing with him. So he been ahead of the curve, and Al Haymon still don't understand it, bro. And all this is, it's either one or two. It's only either one or the two things with Crawford and Spence in this scenario. More than likely, it's one or the two things. Either they want to diminish Terence Crawford's accomplishment because they know Errol gonna lose, or they want to use these Terence Crawford talks to clear the runway for Thurman and Spence and pull the rug out of the up under the fans again. And it might be a combination of both. They can clear the runway, pull the rug up under the fans, and then come back and give you a diminished product, or come back and say, well, we can give it to you at 54. We're gonna set Crawford up for the vacant WBO. We're gonna set Errol Spence up for a vacant belt. You can wait a year. They're gonna mandatories, and then you talking about 2026 or something like that. All they want to do is diminish Terence Crawford, and they want to age him out. And it's always been about that. I think at a point in time, I think at a large point in time, they never wanted to fight him. I don't know when they made that determining factor, when they said, oh, no, he ain't right for us, right? I think they didn't think he was going to be that dominant at welterweight. I don't think they thought he was going to be the problem that he really is at welterweight. And they would say, man, we need to slow him down. And they could have slowed him down by feeding them PBC guys like Thurman and Porter and rough and rugged guys to beat on them a little bit and slow them down and put them through some wars and get some scar tissue and cut them up and wear them down. They chose not to. They chose to starve him out. They chose to ignore him, hoping fans wouldn't demand it. They chose to drag his name through the mud in a 4x4. They chose to stump his name out like a roach. Every time they would speak his name, they make it taste like ash when you speak it. What does Biggie say? That little jewelry, you can keep it. That'd be our little secret. Don't you know my nigga gotta kidnap kids, fuck them in their ass and throw them over the bridge? That's how he said. That's how it is. Biggie has some crazy ass one-liners, bro. I'm not gonna say the one he said. I think it was a Red Fox joke. Everybody said, "This shit's so gay." Go tell Red Fox that shit. Rest the power to him. them cocaine motherfucking comedians, bro. Man, for sure. I won't say Red Fox on cocaine, but y'all know what I'm talking about. The one that did something with Pamela Greer. You know what I'm saying? The story about the cocaine buildup in the Virginia. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, they thought people was gonna buy into that and be like, well, fuck Terence Crawford, I don't want to see it, and people really want to see the fight. People really want to see the fight, and they can't escape it. And now it's starting to hit their pockets. And now Canelo want to oblige where they can get a way out. And now really Canelo done trapped their ass. You got me trapped. You can't keep the black man down. You keep me trapped. In my Tupac voice. Come on. And Canelo, them not making a Jermell Charlo fight to cover it up. Them not making a Canelo fight to cover it up. What's the cover? There's nothing else to cover. There's only 2 fights that you can make that can remotely cover, unless they want to move up and fight Benavidez. Unless they want to fight Benavidez. Remember, I was going around saying Earl can beat Benavidez, and I'm like, y'all smoking crack. Y'all smoking crack. But that's all they doing to Terence Crawford, and it ain't too much else. It ain't too much more you can pretty much say about it. Now him being silent, him living his life, him having leverage because he ain't desperate for money. It worked in his favor. Will he get the fight? Hey, we don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure that he that it was calculated for him to be quiet. Pretty sure of that. AB, what's going on, bro? See the big American stars, Jake Paul. He's a cash cow. Y'all don't believe Jake Paul did them pay-per-views, do y'all? Y'all don't believe that, bro. Come on. He said you definitely got to go back doing the predictions. Get them likes up. Shout out to Coach Malachi. Don't buy ish. I don't stream. I don't stream. It's easy. I'll buy Haney and Loma or Usyk and Fury. I ain't knocking it. Support the channel, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. You can check out the podcast here. Don't forget this will be streaming sometime tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. on Anchor, 7 a.m. on Spotify, everywhere else, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and etc. on around 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, speaking of shorts, NBC is trying to get the NBA back. I heard. Yeah, I heard. They hired all them sports people. Man, they used to have basketball when Jordan was at his peak. People don't never understand how great he was, just from a commercial standpoint of view. His peak, like bro, you gotta understand they didn't give a fuck about the NFL or college basketball. They used to have triple headers on Saturday and Sundays, bro. Then you used to have basketball TV shows like Hang Time. Then you go into Inside the Stuff with Ahmad Rashad, and then you might go into another show, whatever, or you go into a double header on Saturday, triple header on Sunday. Bro, they was doing that shit all season long. They was doing that all season. It just wasn't after the NFL. The NBA was doing that shit all season long. Jordan had that shit on lock. People don't ever be talking, LeBron's the great man. They don't understand. They would have they didn't have no respect for the NFL, no respect for college football. When the NBA was at the peakest powers in the 90s, bro, man, bro. You had NBA, this shit was on regular TV. Now don't forget they had the NBA Showtime game. Man, the games was better, bro. You had 1,009 sim football games, quarterback club, NFL game day. You had Madden. Nobody even really played Madden like that at one point. You know what I'm saying? And then you had the non-sims like NBA Showtime, NBA Jams, which I think NBA Jams ended up turning to NBA Showtime. You had a Blitz. Come on, Blitz hit the gaming community like crack. Man, arcade. I'm gonna buy arcade version of it though for sure. That's gonna happen. He said, as soon as I know for sure where I'm gonna lay my head concretely at, where I want to live at and retire at, for sure. Al Haymon is a fair in boxing, which explains why he jumped to 7 platforms. Man, that nigga a network prostitute. He said you wasn't talking to you, still everything of my privacy. I don't know, you beefing. Not it was wrong. Okay, my bad. Richard Pryor. I know it's one of them. Sorry, I was right on my when I said about the devil's dandruff. He said hit the one but like a button. spitting the gospel. Shout out to Tef Music, Ron C. Man, what you doing, man? What you doing, man? What you doing, Mike? What you doing, Mike? What you doing? He wanna go get Minnie because she in heat. That's he wanted to go get this little penis wet. Look, that's where you going too. I got a block. No freaky shit tonight. But Crawford being silent is golden. I didn't understand it. And maybe had he ripped into him sooner, maybe, maybe had he ripped into him sooner, he would have got the fight sooner, or maybe it would have did some damage. Maybe it would have did some damage. Maybe it wouldn't have did shit. Maybe it wouldn't have did shit. But him being silent is definitely working in his favor right now. Him being silent is definitely working into his favor. Him being silent is definitely working into his favor. And guess what? They got to come back and see him. They got to double back and come see the boy. They got to come see him. And, or duck him. And Errol Spence, it's probably getting a little tight for him down there in Dallas, in the box community. Boxers talking. People talking around the city. Well, Jock say people talking around my neighborhood. He said I got good paper. He said I got good lawyers because my paper good. $100,000 price tag on your head. That shit was a shit, though. Go listen to Jock. What was it called? Was it New Jock City? No, what was it called? I forget exactly what that song was called. I don't think it was New Jock City. That first Jock album was it was the one. Unskippable. I get his job before he started wearing the shorty doo-wop hair. Trap Jock was on some real shit. Those Saturday afternoons were a moment, and Fox had baseball version of 12 in the zone. Then the game came on. I'm telling you, man, it was Saturday and Sunday, bro. NBA, I'm telling you, man, the NBA in the 90s was better. People say, well, Jordan dominated and ain't nobody else win. But, man, you used to watch the Magic, the Utah Jazz, the Houston Rockets. It was more, it's funny saying it, but it was some parity. It was some parity amongst players. It was good players. You had guys like Nick Van Exel, Eddie Jones. You had guys like Gary Payton, Deadlift Shrimp, Rick Smits. You had Big Country down up there in Vancouver, Jason Williams. You had some good guys. DC, Derek Coleman. You see him walking on Linwood sometime. Real talk. That's a tough neighborhood. That's where you're from. Kenny Anderson. David Wesley, Bobby Phillips, Terrell Brandon, Tom Gugliotta. You had some good players, right? Brad Daughtry, Mark Price. It was just, they knew how to play basketball. NFL Blister one with Jeremy Shock. Hey, the Blister League, my brother had Blister League when we got older. That shit was dope too, Blister League, bro. Blister League was the shit. Oh, the one with Cordell Stewart on the front was fire too. All them boys was fire, bro. I never got into NFL streets like that though. I never got into NFL. I might have played it once or twice. But he said, I just like Earl told, just like he told Earl, you smart, but not that smart. And, he could have avoided all the scrutiny and backlash by just fighting the man. Support the channel, Cash App, $ CJ Good 313. He said the early 90s, the league wasn't great. That's before Jordan took over. Jordan ain't win until 91. Jordan ain't win until 91. And eventually you got Shaq. Chris Webber got in there. You still had like the Run TMC. So yeah, eventually it got there. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. Shit, the 80s was actually better, bro. It's just to the point where it wasn't no parity. Every NBA Finals included the Celtics or the Lakers except 2 times, right? It was the last year, 88, 89, it was Portland and Detroit. And in one of those years, it didn't include the Celtics and Lakers again. I want to say Philadelphia. Can't remember. Peak NBA was late 90s, early 2000s. I would agree with that. I'd agree with that. Salute. He said triple D. Man, I seen him almost got knocked out. Yeah, I remember 90s had skating was huge in the 90s too. You gonna sit down? Skating had took off too. I had all the games. Shout out to Bob Burnquist. Hey, BMX was hard too back in the day too. The BMX games, yeah, shit. And one took off in the 2000s too. They had a video game, man. That shit was hard. I had that one too. Had that one too. Yep, I had all the Tony Hawk's joint. Tony Hawk Underground 2 was the GOAT. I got one in Pro Skater 1 and 2 right now in my game. We waiting for them to remaster Underground 1 and 2. I mean, Underground, was it 1 or 2? Both of them was good. The one that whose world is this? The world is yours. Yeah, Dave Mirra. Yep. Remember Trick Bikes dropped it in early 2000s Trick Bikes? You want shit if you ain't had no pegs or your handlebars can go all the way around 360 and shit, bro. You want shit. You want shit, bro. Y'all any questions I answer. You want shit if your shit couldn't hit the keep spinning this shit, bro. Go. You want shit, nigga. You want shit. For real. Well, yeah, Jordan got them boys paid. My dude, Scottie Pippen was always a day latest dollar short. He did not have a good business mind. He's Tim Hardaway. Yeah, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullins, Tom Chambers, Kevin Johnson. And the video games was great too back then. They said 94 NHL was the greatest hockey game of all time. They still got like murals of that shit around, man. They got a whole website. They had a whole website dedicated to NHL 94. I got that on my Sega Genesis Classic. Yup. Backyard Profit Salute. I still got that on my Sega Genesis Classic. For real. But yeah, that shit, you know, that was a good time, bro. The games they wasn't as technology, you know, technology wise, they wasn't as advanced, but that was more creative, bro. It wasn't, you know, so they wasn't as creative, but they was more creative. Today's game, they got obviously better graphics and shit, but they just don't have no creativity, bro. Yeah, I got 3 dinos right now. Somebody else is gonna restore them. He said PS2 game still the greatest console. Well, yeah, it's the GameCube. My favorite is the GameCube and the PS2 neck and neck. That's my because man, on GameCube, man, Super Smash Brothers, that might be the GOAT right there, bro. Yep, Super Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Double Dash. I was a few of them on that game that was cold. PS2, hell yeah, that was my shit too. Twisted Metal Black. I had mine. I had a chip in mine, bro. Twisted Metal Black, State of the Emergency. You know, yeah, I had quite a few games. I had some good lineup of games on there, like people probably wouldn't remember. I think Metal Gear Solid 2 was on there. Cypher Filter. What else was on that joint on that Joker, man? Man, it was quite a few games, bro. And I can't remember. But it was quite Grand Theft Auto. I forget which one it was. It was on there. It went down. It went down. It went down. It went down. Yeah. Detroit PS2 is but yeah, it's a tie for PS2 and GameCube for me as my favorite. Yeah, he said I cried when I did get one. Yeah, me and my brother both got them. He said I cried when I got one for my birthday. It was hard to get, but yeah, it was. Yeah, was it San Andreas? That was 3, wasn't it? I could be wrong. It might have been 2. But yeah, I was yeah, GameCube, man. Woo! Nigga, some of the shits on that shit was amazing, bro. Super Mario Sunshine was fire too. For sure. They had some shits on there. Yeah, PS2 had a hell of a lineup though. Had a hell of a line. State of Mercy is one of my favorite ones. Yeah, I got GoldenEye. I haven't played it on my Xbox yet. But yeah, State of Emergency was Rockstar been fire though. You never play if you never played State of Emergency, bro, you can go get the emulator, bro. Like man, they will ban that game today. That's why so many people crazy and violent. Man, that was my favorite games. Black Ops, the greatest game of all time online. Play was great in the early 2000s. Yeah, man. I played that shit for like almost 24 hours straight one time, bro. I had a hell of a crew on Black Ops, bro. You had to charge your Bluetooth up. I used to keep 2 or 3 Bluetooths, use one, charge one, use one. Oh, man. That's when I was like, I kind of fell back off video games, bro. I got addicted to Black Ops Online, bro. No cap. I got addicted to that shit. And then one year the PS network got hacked and shit. Remember that? And it wasn't no internet on the PlayStation network. PS3, yeah, I got addicted to that. Wasn't no game like PS. No, it was no better game than Black Ops 1. For sure. None. 2 was good. Modern Warfare 2 was my shit too. But it was no game like Black Ops, bro. None. That shit was like, nigga, that was like the pinnacle for them. The pinnacle. Like the online gameplay. The pinnacle. Bird Magic Isaiah Air was best ever. Golden Air, Bad Boys for Life. See, I got an Xbox instead. Xbox Squad, I had one too. Black Ops was my second favorite behind Modern Warfare. It's number 1 for me. I had too many memories on Black Ops, number 1, but I had Modern Warfare 2 too. I got it in there. Remastered. Excuse me, that's Modern. What is that Modern Warfare 2? Yeah, I think it's Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, I got that in there. Remastered. Manhunt 2, PS2 wouldn't fly either. Mad nigga. Go look at State of Emergency, bro. I'm not even gonna give you a description of what went down on that game. When that happened, I bought an Xbox, but yeah, Black Ops was legendary. Nigga, it was legendary, dog. It was legendary. Like, bro, I had to fall back, bro. Now, in the second one, they put zombies and shit on there. That shit was fire, too. That second one, I think it was the second one. Was it the second one or the first one that was like in like 2010? I think it was the first one. We used to lead it. We used to come home from the club playing that shit drunk as hell. They had a hoes on the couch playing that shit, nigga, before you about to just put in work. Shit, for sure, man, bro. Girl I went to school with was on Black Ops, bro. Man, I was grown, but shit, niggas, man, shit was crazy, bro. He said PS3, man, that was my everything. My computer. PS3 was cool. I liked it. But the next generation of games, like that I like outside of PS2, like that next generation, I don't know, man. I had a PS4, it was cool. PS3, I had a PS3, PS4, Xbox One. I just wasn't the games wasn't as good as it was back in the day, bro. I used to have Game Day, especially the non-sim sports games, man. I used to play hockey, used to play them in baseball games. They get the baseball games free on Xbox Game Pass now. He said Red Dead was another one I was addicted to in 2010. Yeah, my boy tried to put me on that. The one that just came out not too long. I just never got into it. PL to Ghost to 64 right after. For me, it's my favorite PS2 and Xbox. I mean PS2 and GameCube. They were right neck and neck for me. Yeah, 64 was fire too. Yeah, man. Pokemon Stadium, Ready to Rumble, Super Mario. I got that in there. Super Mario 64. Kobe Bryant courtside, Gold 007 GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. Yeah, all that's right there. Dreamcast was great, but they just didn't have enough games, bro. That's why one was cool. I used to watch early videos on it. He said the Red Dead was cold. He said Dreamcast. Yeah, Dreamcast had internet on it. People forget that. Yep. I remember my friend had a Sega CD. His dad worked at Funko Land. It's now named It's now named GameStop, obviously. And yeah, he used to have he used to have every game. They had gaming chairs back in the 90s, bro. Real talk, they had gaming chairs back in the 90s. For sure. They had everything. I remember he had a Sega CD. That shit was short lived. For sure. He said Cruise World. I mean, even when you look at the arcade version of games, Tekken Tag, House of Dead, I think Resident Evil had one, Jurassic Park. They still got the Jurassic Park one. It's just modern versions. Even them shits was fire. Man, I remember X-Men vs. Street Fighter drop, man. Oh man, the line to get in on that game, bro. They should have had 2 or 3 of them hoes in the arcade. That was nothing like going to the arcade, getting some pizza, getting some your mama being that bitch playing with your ass and shit. That's how dope video games was. Your parents played with your ass. That's how dope it was, bro. Your parents played with you, bro. Y'all can both be in the arcade, tearing shit down. But that X-Men vs. Street Fighter, that shit dropped like crack. That shit dropped like crack in arcades, bro. That shit dropped like people like, bro. I don't know who old enough to remember when they dropped X-Men vs. Street Fighter. And I think it came on the arcade first, and then they put it on the disc on PlayStation. When they dropped that shit, dog, that was like, man, that was one of the hardest drops in arcade history, bro. That shit was like, dog, the graphics was dope. Man, that shit was so hard, bro. That shit was hard. That shit was hard. My other favorite was Tekken Tag, playing NBA Showtime at the arcade, NFL Blitz at the arcade. Those was the days, bro. Kids can never get out the house and experience that no more, bro. Man, what's the GOAT Madden? 10? I don't know, man. I see. My favorite one was with Peyton Hillis on there. As far as the online version, I had a lot of friends on that one. Yeah, the Peyton Hillis version. I think that was around the time the NBA PS Network dropped off, suspended too, because they hacked it. The one where Ray Lewis was fired, the one with Michael Vick was fired. Low key, the one was that Dante Culpepper one was fired too back in the day. Yeah, the one with Vick, Ray Lewis. I know the one with McNabb, they did the QB vision and ain't nobody like it. I mastered that shit, even with the smallest QB vision. Or that one with Peyton Hillis for me, dog. They were like 09. Because online was fire, bro. We grew up in the golden era, everything. We sure did, bro. Hip hop, R&B, video games, basketball. Really, that was the golden era of football too. People just didn't know it yet. Anytime they commercialize something, they start to emasculate it, especially when it's do with men in there. Online gaming, this I felt back in recent years. I don't got time no more. Like, yep. Same thing with me. I don't have time to really create the memories. You know, I can get a good hour in a day. On the weekend, I can get some more time in, but I don't really like have the people to play with no more. They don't even got game rooms anymore. Oh, remember you used to have a chat room on Madden, dude? Niggas challenge you in the chat room, and yeah, man, you used to go send them a game request, and they used to go on your record and shit. Then they stopped putting it on your record, then it kind of died and shit. It makes me cry. Cause dog, we had got a good time getting after school, man. I remember, they dropped that Don Clooney out. I don't want to play with you. Like Don Illuminati 7 Day 3 album by Tupac, bro. Man, I remember going to school listening to that shit for a long time, bro. We used to listen to music with our parents, bro. We used to play games with our parents. Like that's how you know it was peak, bro. I used to watch the NBA finals with the Church Brothers. Everybody in Detroit hated Jordan. Real talk. If you really was a Piston fan, you really hated Jordan. He used to root for Karl Malone and the Jazz. I remember he hit that shot. I forget who house we was over, man. And he hit that shot over Byron Russell, bro. I remember I used to be rooting like hell for Reggie Miller to beat Michael Jordan, dude, and them serious, dude. All the kids be playing, I'd be at the crib watching that shit. Then I come out to play. But yeah, those was the days, bro. And the good old days. But everything was damn near peak, bro, back then. Fashion, Carl Kanaj, Bowles. You would say, no, yeah, fuck Michael Jordan. I don't like Michael Jordan. Hell yeah. Thinking on Detroit, real Detroit Piston fans do not like real ones. Don't like Michael Jordan, bro. I remember my friend say he was older. We used to work together. I used to work at Chrysler. He said that it was in the 90s and shit. He had all the Jordan gear on and shit. It's like, when it was taking off. And he said, he had ran into Isaiah. He was somewhere. Isaiah was interviewing or something. And Isaiah looked at him. He was like, "Oh, it's hot." He said, "Man, it's the shit. You're like, man, what's the shit? He said, but Isaiah looked at him like, no, really?" He said, "Man, nigga, this shit hot." We had the Grant Feelers. Nigga, Detroit is like its own motherfucking state. It's like New York. Like how New York is they own, like, it's their own world. Like you could never understand. Like Detroit is its own. Like we don't give like it's his own. Like it's been like that since I can remember, since Drunken Master and all shit like that. It's been its own little way, bro. Like you got some places that's just they jock off this or they roll with this and they roll with that. Like Detroit is like New York. We do our fashion and you see on BMF, niggas been doing that shit like since I can remember, bro. Niggas been like that. That's just how it is. Niggas here just march to the beat of their own. It's like that in Philly too. They march to the beat of their own drum. Like nigga shit is just authentic, bro. It's crazy. He said MJ is the GOAT. That's crazy. Man, fuck him. They cheated. That's what you got to understand, bro. I'm gonna get off after this, but what you got to understand is they cheated for him. They manufactured him to be the guy, to be where he at. They didn't beat the Pistons fair and square. They put flagrant. He cried to David Stern. They created flagrants, texts, suspensions because we was fucking him up. And you got to remember too, Isaiah had to pick tooth and nail. You got to understand, it wasn't no creative way for even for Magic and Bird, even though they had great teams, they had to get beat up and elbowed and karate chopped, and they had to throw hands just like everybody else. Oh, you can't touch Michael. And when you couldn't touch Michael no more, and they started doing all the text, the flagrants, the touch files, the no hand checking, all the shit you see that manifest and manifested today that you don't like in NFL and NBA is Michael Jordan. It wasn't because, it's Mike. Mike brought so much money to the table, bro. So it was better for the game financially. And this is where financials come in at, not with Magic and Bird. Yeah, Magic and Bird took the NBA from tape delay and syndicated it across the country and turned it into a very lucrative business. Michael Jordan turned this motherfucker into a multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar business and took it international. So it was financially better for everybody, including the Pistons and people that didn't like Michael Jordan, for Michael Jordan to be on the pedestal. And when you couldn't touch Michael Jordan no more, it was over with. You couldn't beat him. Superstar calls Michael Jordan. So how would you feel if they say, they created rules for Michael Jordan to win and get through you? He didn't organically beat the Pistons, bro. He cried to David Stern, bro. And that's what they created. Superstar, hand checking, text. This is what they won't tell you. Niggas just in Detroit don't, well, some people do, but we don't hate him for no reason. And I continue to hate him because I paid to see him come back into Washington and he canceled right before the game just because it's Detroit. So Detroit don't like Michael Jordan. Like real fans from a certain era, I was part of that last and the tail end of that era who was taught to hate Michael Jordan. Now, I had the fucking shoes and all that. My mom was in all that. But yeah, niggas ain't really fuck with Mike like that, bro. Magic had to get his out the mud. Michael Jordan, he was great. But all the stuff you see today, in basketball where you bump them and you breathe on them and superstars, Michael. Michael didn't really get through the Pistons. He was like, they gave him the Mario star. And that's why he ended up winning. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't bump him. You couldn't hard follow no more. And then it manifested into protecting Kobe. And that's not protect Kobe, but, the Kobe's, all the other guys that came after him, the Tracy McGrady's and stuff of the world. And they got to the point where they got so greedy. Instead of like it's just Michael and the tier 1 stars of basketball, it just started coming from from 2 or 3 players to 5 to 7 to 10 to 25, and any player that made an All-Star game or 2 or 3 All-Star games now get superstar calls. And now they got to reel it in because that's not what people want to see no more. Nobody's saying Mike gear ain't nice. People still hate me for rocking the Jordan's Bull gear. He said, "Yeah, I remember 7 Mile to Belle Isle. Hell, that shit was legendary show, bro. That was legendary. Damn, they should bring that shit back. I used to watch all the Detroit shits on that, man. All of them. All of the music videos and shit, man. That shit was still coming on into the 2000s. Yeah, me and my brother used to watch it when I was about to graduate. It was still coming on into the 2000s. I remember they had a nigga from Schoolcraft, K.A., man. He had redid the Jeezy Air Force Ones, the beat. That shit was hard, though. Me and my brother still, like, we see each other. We still kind of like be talking about that song, bro. That nigga had shot some of that video, I think, at Big V's on Schoolcraft in Greenfield. Everybody know that's legendary liquor store on the west side. For sure. Yeah, he was manufactured like a mug. Yeah, LeBron. Yeah, LeBron. Like I said, I don't blame LeBron, bro. Like, it was his rightful right. But when it went from 1 to 2 or 3 players to 20 players, 25, like, get the fuck up out of here. Get up out of here. Olympic was a good mark. Yeah, it was. I mean, he took it international. He did. Man, them niggas helped him get through the Pistons. He didn't get through the Pistons like, I broke through. I did it. No, motherfucker, he cried. Everybody know that. Mike ain't go through no fire, bro. Mike ain't beat Magic. Not in the 80s. He ain't beat Magic and Kareem. He didn't beat the Celtics. He didn't. The Pistons did all that. He beat an older Magic. The West wasn't shit, though. He cried to David Stern, and that's what flagrant text. And once he got through that, they took away the hand checking. Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Some New Yorkers hate him. I ain't those losers. But you ain't no real New Yorker, though. So that don't even count. You ain't no Knicks fan. So, of course, you wouldn't hate him. Of course, you wouldn't. But he went through it for 6 years. Man, bro, Isaiah had to really go through it. Magic had to go through it somehow. Bird was throwing balls with Rick Mahorn and Bill Laimbeer. Michael wasn't built like that, bro. They were tearing that little putty cat up. That nigga went to go cry. Commissioner. Commissioner. Put him up. Man, Michael was a pussy, man. Let's just call it a spade to spade, bro. Still, some of the shit he do today is just like, come on. You mad at Charles Barkley because he says you suck as a GM. Like, come on. Come on. And if you still like him after that, sisters, he left his black wife for a white woman, thanks to Scottie Pippen. Pistons was dirty. Everybody was dirty, bro. Everybody was dirty, bro. Magic was dirty. Bird was dirty. All of them was dirty. You had to really know how to fight. Wasn't no John Wick here. They really was fighting, bro. You got to remember that. They really was throwing. It wasn't no, hold me back. Like Carmelo bagging up from Nate Robinson. They really was banging. They really was fighting, bro. Broken and stand in the game. You shoot the fade, go to the bench, come back 10 minutes, 20 to real time, and have to play next to this nigga, man. Go look at Rudy Tomovich get his shit broke in the 70s. It's the most gruesomest thing you will see on a basketball court, even though when that kid broke his leg in college, when he split his shit, go look at Rudy Tomovich and Kermit Washington. Go look at that. They banned Kermit from the league. He split his face open on the floor. Rudy Tomovich's whole face got split open on the floor. He hit him with the wrath of 5,000 Money Mike backhands. They talking about them guys back, man. They will. You had to fight, bruh. And that's not even televising the fights that you had. That was in the locker room. Dr. J and Larry Bird was banging. They was fighting. Come on, they was literally fighting, bruh. Larry Bird literally came in the locker room in the 3-point contest and say, which one of you niggas gonna come in the second? Nobody said, oh, Larry's a racist. Come on. Talking about political correctness, bruh. Come on, man. He couldn't do shit about it because he was a great shooter. He's a great player. If the game on the line and you say the game of your life on the line, what shooter you want to take the last shot in history? I'm going with Larry Bird from the 3-point line. I'm banking on Larry. If you gotta take over Steph with the game on the line, Steph, greatest shooter I've seen, but with the game on the line, I'll take Reggie, Ray Allen. I'll take Michael. He did clap Larry, bro. Like, bro, used to, man, dude, I'm telling you, dude, man, like y'all don't understand, dog. But Karl Malone, bro, it split Isaiah open because Isaiah was fooling on John Stockton. Like, what y'all don't really know about Isaiah, he got the best handles of all time, and I'll leave it at this. He got the best handles of all time. If Isaiah wanted to score 40 points a game, he could have did it, bro. And the reason why Isaiah handles better than Kyrie, he didn't carry the ball or palm the ball. Think about that for a minute. He didn't carry or palm the ball. So it was none of this or none of that. Isaiah staying on top of it. Like, go listen to Charles Barkley talk about Isaiah handles, bro. It's no carrying. It's no palming. That's just Iverson starting. That's my favorite basketball player of all time. Isaiah really dribbled without traveling, and he was nice. Kyrie is carrying. Anytime you go like this, it's a carry. It's a carry. Anytime you palm it, that's traveling. That's traveling. They travel so much that you don't even notice it no more. Dog, Katie and Tracy McGrady ain't even in the conversation when you talking about game on the line with them guys. Bird, Reggie, Allen, they ain't even in the conversation. Tracy McGrady never been out the first round. I love KD, great shooter. But he ain't in that conversation. With Michael, neither. Remember MJ got 2-piece? Yeah, remember Chris Childs 2-piece Kobe. I remember watching Reggie Miller. My favorite player. I love Kobe too, but my favorite player is Reggie Miller. I remember remember Reggie Miller was a military brat. He put motherfucking Kobe Bryant. He bear hugged the shit out of him, bro. I remember hell. Y'all niggas be thinking like Reggie like sweet. Like Reggie was a military kid. Because his sister was the greatest female basketball players of all time. He said they couldn't laugh at me because he was whooping her ass too. Carrying Kyrie carries. Everybody do it today. Isaiah like Kareem wasn't liked by the NBA. Of course, it wasn't. Kareem took up and Isaiah stood up for black stuff. Go listen to his interview he did with who he interviewed with? The Pivot. Go listen to it. He talked about how they was the first ones to have black writers and all this type of stuff. Yeah, his mother was a Black Panther. So anytime you trying to, do things that's black, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna frown on you. Look at Michael Jordan played the other way. I don't blame Michael Jordan for not bringing politics into the workplace. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that anybody of anybody that been in the factory or been in the workplace, a man gonna tell you is to leave that shit at the door. The first thing they're gonna tell you, leave it at the door. No mess with the women, none of that. Kyrie, the most creative, right? Shit sweet about Kyrie, bro. He can handle it. Like, y'all going overboard with that nigga. He don't even play. Man, Tim Hardaway got better handles than Kyrie. At least a better crossover for sure. People say, "Oh, I've never seen nothing like." Oh, look at Pete Maravich, an original N1. The original N1. Like I need, Kyrie. So I be looking at that nigga be. All right, man, that nigga's overrated, bro. Yeah, that's his guy there. Ross Strickland, this guy there. Ross Strickland, another guy he played today. He was running circles around Kyrie. They wasn't allowed to play like that back in the day. It was more playing the game, playing the point guard position was uniform. That's why it took Chauncey so long to catch on. He said Kyrie Howard's a great man, motherfucker. Be 10,000 turnovers. Oh, Reggie, no, definitely, man. That's one of my favorite players. I wore 31 in middle school. My favorite players of all time. I watched him do some crazy shit in the playoffs against Michael and them. That's my boy right there, Reggie Miller, dog. That's my boy. Kobe overstepped too. Yeah, I can see that, man. I remember he hit that shot on Phoenix. Well, didn't he hit that shot over Jason Kidd? Kobe used to be on some nut shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Kobe used to be on some nut shit, bro. Yeah, Kobe used to be on some nut shit. Them King series, I used to hate the Lakers then too. Them King series and that Portland series, I couldn't believe it, bro. You know, Steve Smith from the East Side. You know what I'm saying? He went to Persian. Yeah, he from the East Side. I mean, that Portland team was good too, man. Steve Smith, Rasheed Wallace, Arvydas Sabonis, Damon Stoudemire, aka Ruben Patterson, aka the Kobe Stopper. They had Bonzi Wells. I remember he was drafted in Detroit and traded. Brian Grant was on that team. Scottie Pippen, weak ass, was on that team. Oh man, I said Leon Jermaine O'Neal. Damn, who else was on that? On that? That team was deep as hell too, bro. That team was super duper deep. I said Steve's. It was somebody else on that team too. That team was deep. Come about, he was just a hooper. He said Allen Houston better than Reggie. Man, come on, he's smoking crack. I love Allen Houston. He was in Detroit for a minute too. Ross Strickland could finish too. He just, like I said, Sprewell was better than Reggie. I like Sprewell. Yes, Sprewell was nice. You know, he was dunking on niggas and shit. Sprewell was nice. I'd rather have Reggie still, but Sprewell was nice. Sprewell was great. Like the push off Mike. Yeah, I mean, hey, man. You want to say he pushed off on Byron? I ain't going to argue against it. But, man, I remember I was watching that shit live with the Church Brothers. Reggie Miller over D-Wade, I don't care. He's Kobe was the most entertaining. I watched him. Entertaining player I see. Allen Iverson, Michael, Tracy McGrady, shit, who else? Gotta get one to Steph. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, Sean Kemp, Penny Hardaway. Jason Kidd in New Jersey. They way top 5 point guard of all time. I think he fell out a lot of people's top 5, but I'm not gonna get into it. No one ever did more with less than Zeke. True. Kings was stacked. Bobby Jackson, Doug. Go look up the story about Doug Christie and his wife. I'm talking about being neutered as a man. Anybody before I get off? Anybody know the story about Doug Christie and his wife? T-Mac was up. Allen Houston was. Yeah, Allen Houston was nice. Yeah, he was. Him and Grant didn't kind of coexist. That was the rumor. T-Mac was up 3-1. Yeah, they pulled Tayshaun Prince out the deep freezer, and that's all she wrote. Tayshaun Prince hadn't played all year. He came in and put the clamps on T-Mac ass. We came all the way back. Yep, I remember that. Whatever reason, the Pistons just didn't believe in playing young players, bro. Y'all lost 6 straight conference finals. Who was y'all? Wasn't me. Kobe not on your list. Yeah, he on that list. Amari Stoudemire, Jason Kidd was amazing. Man, nigga. They traded him for Stephon. Nigga. He was crazy in Jersey, bro. He was crazy. Him, Kenyon Martin. Yeah, Kenyon Martin. They ain't that shit in Jersey neither. Think about it. What was the white boy that had Todd McCullum?
They had one of the Collins bros. I don't know which one it was. I'm gonna just leave it at that because one of them, Kerry Kittles, Lucius Harris, Keith Van Horn was there one. Man, bro, Keith Van, man, dude, they ain't had shit over there, bro. But man, Jason Kidd, bro. Steph could never do what Jason Kidd did in Jersey. He made everybody. That's why I swear by Jason Kidd, bro. I swear by Jason Kidd, bro. I swear by him as a player, bro. You got to remember, he couldn't shoot when he got into the league. They called him Ace and Kidd. He became one of the best three-point shooters, historically. But Kidd in Jersey, because we had to get through Kidd to get to the finals. Kidd in Jersey was nasty, bro. When they gave him Kenyon Martin, they would just throw it up there. He just needed somebody like a Kevin Durant. You put Tracy McGrady on that team. That's all they needed. They would have won. They'd have beat Kobe. They'd have beat San Antonio. They'd have beat the Lakers. They was just missing somebody that can go get them a bucket, bro. Like when they needed a bucket. They just needed somebody to get a bucket, bro. That's all they needed, bro. They had the shooters, the gunners. Van Horn's kind of supposed to be that guy. He couldn't be that guy. He carried Jersey, bro, for years, bro. And they just get him that little bit of help, bro. Dude, really Magic, Isaiah, Stockton. He could put him before Stockton. It's close. I probably put him over Stockton. Number 3. I don't consider Steph a point guard. No disrespect. Good combo guard. He and the Allen Iverson combo. Sorry. He even had Steven Jackson. That Steven Jackson, yeah, he was on that joint for a minute. I heard him. Yeah, he was on the team for a minute. He said that's how great kid, man. People forget, bro. His evolution of his career, Greg, was bananas, bro. He could do it all. He could defend it. He was always a great defender. Eliza, salute. He said Jason Kidd was the reason Kobe wanted out of LA in 06, 07. Man, Kidd, Nash, Bills was my guards with D. Will, CP3 Parker. Yeah, that was a nice little era of guards too, bro. Back in the 90s, you had niggas like Mookie Betts, Mark Price, Terrell Brandon. He got injured. They had a nice bunch of point guards in the 90s too. But they was great. But you got to remember, Nash was Kidd backup too. Lavish salute. Yeah, man, bro. Oh. If Melo had Kidd in his prime, he would have smashed the Heat. Man, bro. That's exactly what they needed. Somebody like he would have been perfect. KG and Kidd. Oh, yeah, my favorite player, Allen Iverson, Kevin Garnett, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, and Reggie Miller. That's my 5. That's my 5. AI number 1. KG number 2, Kobe number 3, number 4 was Reggie, and number 5 was Tim Duncan. That was my 5. I hope I ain't forgetting no, but that was my 5 for sure. Jason was such a great player. He had sneakers. Yeah. Everybody's sneakers was fire back in the day. Even Grant Felix was fire. Mookie Blaze. Yeah, he got in trouble too. A few years ago. Only point guard to lead that team to the championship twice was Zeke. Yeah, man. That's fucked up. The kid, Kid just ran into some juggernaut, San Antonio and LA. They just need that one guy to go get them a bucket. I don't bang without Timmy, my dude, for sure. Timmy, my guy. Love Tim Duncan. I remember they had Kidd or Nash debate. That wasn't no debate, really, when you think about it. It wasn't no, like, Nash had MVPs and shit, but Kidd was a better player. Kidd and Dallas. Man, dog, my favorite finals was when Dallas beat them. Outside the Pistons winning it, my favorite finals was when Dallas beat Miami Heat. I was so happy for y'all. I was so happy, Rob. I can stand them niggas. Vince Carter. Vince Carter did end up going over there too, but he, he did end up over there. Penny, Grant, T-Mac. Vince Carter, go look up his stats. He had some hell of a years in Toronto, bro. I forgot he was like that. He played for so long. Let me get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Chopping it up with your boy. Let's be on a podcast tomorrow. Got a nice little lineup for y'all, man. I got one more video I got to do. Yeah, Nash didn't play no defense. Kid did, but peace. Got our official sponsor, Greenwood Style Trading. If you want to learn how to make some passive income, some extra money, so you can invest in your future and your kids' future, give them a call for a free 10-minute consultation, 281-760-3170.